Hello everyone, my name is Chris Heppeler and today we are here with Matt Burton, who is a BLACKROLL athlete. Matt is a triathlete, he is Ironman as well, does that professionally, and recently, Matt, you had a big win just last December. It was a massive week at the beginning of December in Busselton in WA. You won the Ironman in Busselton, the Ironman WA, and in the same week you became a father. So that's amazing. Yeah, congratulations for that. First up.
Thank you. Yeah, it's feels like a lifetime ago now, but yeah, December. I mean, we're really fortunate. My wife and I, our little boy now, 6 weeks old, but he was due on race day, so he actually came 6 days early, which was probably a blessing in disguise.
It helped, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
It's a few weeks down the track now, so does that mean the excitement has kind of ebbed up, or where are we at the moment? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is a really good question. I started triathlon 12, 13 years ago, and winning at home was always my number one. The people close to me knew that. So, you know, to finally have done it, I think on the Monday night, Monday of the race week, the 29th of November at the time it was, Kim, my wife, went into hospital, and then, our son Tom came on the 30th in the early morning. So that was, for a normal triathlete or someone preparing for a race, having a sleepless night, like no sleep for the first night of the week, is not typical.
Yeah.
And then it became just the next couple of days training and then going back to the hospital, just obviously to spend time with them. And then the day they came home, I went to Busselton. So, it all sort of happened, and probably now it's starting to take shape when I'm back in training, full training again.
Yeah.
For me to understand what I achieved and still be happy, be very proud of myself for that moment and that time. But at the same time, it's been so busy at home that, it's fun. It's really different.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
Yeah.
Huge change, obviously, for your normal routine, or like it probably is out of the window.
Yeah, it's like I'm super fatigued, right? January in Perth is hot. We've had, a couple of weeks now of 35 plus most days. So when you carry that fatigue in training, some days it's harder to leave home, especially now when there's this six-week-year-old there. And I know my wife's sort of tired most of the time as well, but they've been unreal letting me sleep and get back to training and build my load back up so I can start the year in a month's time. So
yeah,
I'm back racing. So it's different.
Yeah,
Very
of course.
different, yeah.
I guess so. And it probably takes a little bit of time just to figure it out how you can make it work. Obviously.
Yeah. I'm very supportive. I guess wife and mum and dad and and mother-in-law, they're right behind what I do and and what's also going on at home. But it's something I want to really be part of. I think we didn't know what we were having, so I was convinced we were going to have a girl, and then for it to be a boy, there's all this now excitement. I can get him involved in some stuff I'm doing pretty quickly. I'm limited to apparently when he can get in a bike seat, but it's nice the thought of them us traveling as a family this year. The 2 World Championships. It'll be the only time there'll be 2 in 1 year. So, the planning goes into place for that now, and I feel I'm starting the year at a really good place. 2022. So, for 2 years there was not much. It's hard enough getting the support from family, let alone brands and products and companies to see through a time when no one knew when it was ending or what was going next. So, I think to finish 21 the way I did, it's just a great sort of base to launch from in 22 now.
No, absolutely. I mean, we as BLACKROLL, we were there as well. We had a recovery station, and I mean, it was just a fairy tale ending to everything. It was so cool to be part of that. So with Busselton, obviously, this is something you really wanted, and you probably trained a long time for it, and it's kind of your dream, I assume. But at the race or on the day or just before, like, did you know you're gonna win it? Like, what was going on in your
Yeah,
your world?
So 2018, I was third. 2019, I was second, and then there was no race 2020.
Yeah.
So 21, look, Ironman had created this story, done a piece for, I guess, tourism in WA at the time. You know, they get behind the event as well. So I'm from WA. It's a nice avenue for them to explore.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start to create a story about an athlete, you also put external pressures on.
Exactly.
You know, on the goals that I had and the dreams that I had. But look, I think what happened early in the week was probably, it couldn't have been better. It distracted my thought from, I have to win this, to I just go out there and do what I've prepared for. You know, I'm fortunate enough, I've always believed to go to the next level, you have to be able to win at home consistently.
Yeah.
Because being in your own comforts is number one. Like, as simple as being able to go home to your couch or go to your therapist, use all your gear. You know, you're not limited to the suitcase that you've taken with you, or backpack. So, you know, until I could, I guess, achieve that point, I was, not that I wouldn't race well traveling, but now I feel like I've ticked that off essentially. And it's hard because you hit the run and I speak to people afterwards and they're like, oh, you know, you're in control all day. But all right, the lead was, I come off the bike and I had 4 minutes and the gap came down pretty quickly. And it's probably the first time in a race I remained very calm, even when the gap was coming down, because I knew a marathon's a long way. But the amount of people like, oh yeah, you know, you had it in the bag, you had a massive lead, and you still have to run a marathon, right?
Exactly.
You know, there's so much can go wrong in such a short amount of time. So I think that's something I still, you know, we didn't have, there's some guys from over east, you didn't have international athletes, but I didn't feel like I had to pour it on and to put myself in a state that, you know, wasn't able to speak afterwards or hang out with people afterwards. I felt very controlled, very happy with where my fitness was at, because it needs to be a fitness base that, you know, this year I can explore.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and go on with. So, yeah, no, as I've got older, it's not about winning the event that I go into with the focus on. It's about performing to the level that I believe I'm capable of. Yeah. And then the result will take care of itself. So for years I was sort of distracted by the result, you know, and the prize money or the, you know, what would come of it. But, you know, everyone's had such a mixed couple of years that I just wanted to go and have a good race and, you know, and perform at a point I think I've got to. So, I still know there's a lot more, which is the exciting part for the races ahead. Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I guess it's, as you said, it's about satisfying yourself, right? Yeah. And that's what you wanted to achieve, I guess.
Being proud of myself was a big one. Like, you don't, as you learn over time, these moments don't come often. Yeah. You have a lot more, you know, races which don't go the way you anticipated or expected. But as soon as you put expectation on a race, it never results, right? Yeah. It's never there. So removing expectation and enjoying the nerves that come from a race and an experience that racing brings is probably more important for me now, rather than, you know, I have to lead off the bike, I have to run this, I have to fulfill if I've created a stereotype as a strong cyclist or a strong runner, I have to be that. Like, no, you have to carry yourself through 3 sports, you know, and still be in sort of contention really late in a race to have a good result. So it's like, it's not who's the quickest in the first hour. It's,
no, exactly.
You know, pacing's everything now. Yeah. Yeah. It's just taken me a long time to realise.
Yeah. I guess that comes with experience, with and also with training, I guess. Yeah. And just doing it constantly. Yeah. So how many hours would you say per week does a professional athlete like you train, or do you do more than others, or the same? Or?
I would think more. I have quite an ability to sort of push above 40 hours pretty comfortably for an extended period of time. I used to try and do it for too long a period, and then you break down. But for 4 to 6 weeks, I can definitely, you know, maintain 40 to 45 hours across sort of all disciplines. But then obviously you've got to account for recovery time and treatment and sleep, and now spending time with the family. So that balance will change a little bit, but I still believe the more hours I can do, that this theory come out that less is more in triathlon.
Yeah.
But I'm always a big advocate for more is more. So if you can adapt and absorb large training volumes in Ironman racing, in the full distance racing, eventually you'll be better than most.
Yeah.
Because your body's more robust. Breaking down an Ironman from a muscular point of view is common. It's why so many people come out and they're like, I think I can run 225 off the bike, but no one's even got really close yet on a legit course, because after 7 hours of racing, muscular breakdown is so great, and your body's been catabolic for a long period of time where you're eating away at muscle that you're fighting a physiology that you can't replenish in that time. So, I think we've become obsessed. We've become data obsessed. There's so much available to us now, right? Yeah. So, I try and strip my training back so it's not so data obsessed. I'm very aware of my limits from a data point of view and my levels, but to be able to understand how you're feeling and trump the days when you're not feeling so great and you're still good. When you sort of train, I feel you train to be good on bad days. Yeah. So when you're having a good day, you're great. And that's what I'm carrying forward now. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So it's also kind of when there is limitations from a body point of view, and that there's not much you can do about it. Of course, nutrition, sleep, recovery, but there's at some stage it's just finished.
Yeah.
And then at that stage, I guess there's other aspects like the mental strength and the experience and all of these things which come into play, right?
Yeah, mental strength's a big one. It's explored. There's podcasts, there's books, there's a lot of people now have explored it, and it's super important. But it also takes time to develop. Time and age, really. So young guys who are able to trump it early, it tends to be because they don't overthink it. Yeah. But now with so many platforms, social media-wise, young athletes and most athletes will overthink any avenue. Yeah. Right, and they bring too many people are involved in the equation. You don't have, like I said, too many, chefs spoil the broth, right? So it's quite common now in triathlon where there's just too many people involved and someone isn't putting their trust in one person as a coach or as a mentor. It's multiple people that confuses them, and then they read something online, and it's the fact is the body is amazing, but when you go and race for such a long period of time, at the speeds that we're trying to go, there's always going to be a limiting barrier. There's that limiting barrier will press up over time, and then there'll be days where you feel out of your skin, right? But I think the awareness, mental strength's important and pushing through a certain amount of pain, but the awareness that, going out early in a race and running or riding an effort that's, knows too much, you tend to pay for it. Yeah. You hear it too much. So many athletes say, I didn't have the race I was hoping for. Maybe you went in with too much hope. Yeah. It's like exactly. There's a reality to a reality to endurance racing, and it's knowing being within yourself for a long period of time. And I think for me personally, Buston was the first time I was able to race within myself and not have to, feel too uncomfortable for a long period of time, because of course you're going to battle for, if you race for 8 hours, for 17 hours, if you sit in a chair for 8 hours, you get a sore bum. Yeah. Right. So exactly. When you're in motion for that amount of time and your heart rate's above, in a high aerobic state for a long period of time, stuff's going to go wrong. Yeah. You're going to hit some barriers through the day. So overcoming those little ones, that's the difference to, I think that's the mental strength. Yep. When the little things mean nothing. You just pass on, you drop a gel, never mind, you'll just grab it from the next one. Or you just, not only from an accumulation of training load, and as you mature as an athlete, do you sort of learn to relax a bit more, but you also learn that, things will not go as planned quite often. Yeah. And so you adapt so much faster. And it's, I think that's where we're seeing it now. The sport's really going in a way where there's some Europeans going so fast, but races like Hawaii and World Championship events, which are raw and the weather, the conditions play a huge part of it.
Yeah,
it's still where the benchmark's going to be in the sport.
Yeah,
because you're isolated as an athlete.
Yeah. Basically, everyone needs to travel there, so
Pretty
no
much.
one's really home. Right?
That's it.
Yeah.
No one's. I don't think there's any Hawaiian-based pro, not in Kona at the moment. So everyone's coming in from somewhere.
Yeah.
They base their training on a theory from their coach to why they were based there, and I'm happy to be at home, really.
Yeah.
It's where all the comforts are. So, I'll prepare here most of the year and travel when need be, but we're still restricted to a certain degree.
Still, yeah. But we also, have a great environment for it as well.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah. Like the next question is more like from a recreational athlete like myself. When I think about, I love running and I love not cycling on the road, but mountain biking, for example. And whenever I go for a run or a bike ride, it's for me almost like a bit of meditation. Like, it clears my mind. I can actually sort my thoughts and just come up with good ideas as well, if it's for business or for my private life or whatever. Or, like I kind of think about how I'm tackling my next project in life or in business. So it's really good. It really helps people like myself, and I guess that's such a cool thing about the simplicity of running or riding a bike. But for me, that a run takes like 45 minutes or an hour, and then that's perfect. So you have so many hours on the road, and what are you doing with your thoughts? Like what's happening in that time with the Matt Burton?
The same thing.
Yeah.
I think even as athletes, and we're programming ourselves to be better each day, you're thinking about either the session previous or what's coming up and ways or routes or where you can take that session the next day, or what time, in terms of a daily schedule, what time you need to be there. I'm not a big one. I don't run with music. I'll only ride with some music if I'm in a safe environment. But, I'm happy to get a bit lost in my own thoughts. I think if you just become obsessed with listening to music when you train, you lose touch of your own breath and your own feeling a little
thoughts,
bit.
Yeah.
We never race with music, so I find sometimes you go into transition areas in race mornings and athletes are clued on with the big noise cancelling headphones in, but what are you sort of cancelling yourself out of? Like, why are you taking the world away from you? What are you scared of? I think it's I personally look at it as quite a weak tactic to be clued into music. It's like you're scared of what's ahead and what's around you. Engaging is what we've got to do during the race. So why not?
Yeah.
Be aware of the noises around you and be in the time. Yeah.
Be happy with yourself as well.
But
be with yourself.
A lot of people love the music option, but for me, swimming, your mind, your thoughts wander to all places. Until it gets really hard and it's just wandering to oxygen. But yeah, I think you're right with the running and riding as a normal person, where everyone's human as well. Elite athlete or not, we all started at a point where we were only doing it for exercise. Yeah. So same thoughts. What I got to get from the shops later. Yeah. When I get home, what am I going to have to eat? Or simple things like preparing the rest of your day. Really, once you've got a few efforts out the way, or made sure you've manoeuvred through some cars properly, or safety's a big one. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And you're probably quicker than others as well.
So you
obviously have to be aware of what's around you as well.
Yeah, and we're really lucky in Perth with the bike path network.
Open spaces.
So it's a bit safer to train, but once you get out the back into the hills, you still have to be aware of what's around you. I think that's a big reason I don't use music out there, because you can't hear a car coming at 110k an hour until it hits you. So touch wood. Yeah,
then you feel it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was part of that question as well. It's like part of it is also that I'm usually coming out relaxed at the other end of a run, or like the rest of the day is just usually a bit more, relaxed, because I blew off my steam already. Yeah. So does that mean you're generally just a very relaxed man when you're not racing?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
It takes it. It's a good one. I talk to mates who are elite athletes, and you know, in the days over the summer when you got to spend a bit of time with family, it's really important for us as athletes to take the edge off from a training point of view. So even if it means popping out for 20 minutes, it brings you back to a human level, right? To release the endorphins to a point, like if you're usually doing 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, you still need to do something just to move the blood around. You know, so you almost settle yourself to be able to communicate with everyone and not be in a headspace or a level of sort of aggression that's going to snap at someone or. But yeah, it's the release is a big one. Releasing endorphins is why we exercise, the positive endorphins. So it's the same as an elite athlete when you don't do something. And anyone that says it who's just exercising, if they've done nothing for a few days, they feel sluggish. And it's the same with with what I'm doing. If you don't, it's more so probably if you don't hit the sessions, you start to feel sluggish, or you've just been a bit lazy in your training approach. You can feel sluggish because when you have a rest day, you get very sort of antsy. Like it's, you know, so for me, rest is very different to what other people see it as. And it's hard to explain to people, like, you know, it's okay, I'm not resting, but I'm still not engaging to a point where I'm having an effect on my physiological system or, you know, a neural system. Right? I'm not doing any damage. It's just, you know, moving some blood around so I can come in and relax for the rest of the day. But, you know, exercise is what keeps a lot more than just the body healthy, right? The mind.
Absolutely.
You know, the thoughts for the rest of the day are a lot clearer after people have moved.
I totally agree. And obviously science, you know, points that way as well. But it's still like something that not everyone knows yet, in my opinion. You know, we work with BLACKROLL all the time, and we talk a lot also to people who don't exercise a lot. And for a lot of those people, you know, exercise is still about losing weight and these sort of things. So it's sometimes really cool when you can actually show that other part, you know, the stress relief part and all of that to people as well, and how much it can actually help them to change their lives as well. So, yeah,
I agree.
You know, I mean, for us, it's a given that it does release stress, but it's not like everyone knows that.
No, people still think exercise has to be vigorous. Running has to feel like you're bent over every time you get home. It's like you can actually exercise in ways which are, you know, very low impact, you know, in terms of simply rolling the muscle out, or, you know, still sitting on the couch at home, but creating some movement using some tools that, you know, just create another dynamic to the way the muscle might be able to move or react or.
Exactly.
But straight away, the word exercise, just, you know, people think, oh, I need to run up a hill. You know, full tilt. So slowly we're creating trends which aren't, but then there's a lot of, I guess, platforms or places people can go where it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes of high intensity exercise. You know, and it's, for most people, they don't want to do it. Don't want to do the high intensity stuff because it hurts. And
exactly.
it can harm you a lot more, right?
So if you don't do it,
you know, ways with that BLACKROLL promote, it's important that you can aid your body to feel better and act better through a day by not necessarily going and killing yourself in an exercise session, but, you know, just releasing certain parts of the body through some, you know, whether it be a trigger point feel or, you know, just slow movements over the muscle. Using another therapeutic item can really aid the body in feeling better. You know, and aid the muscle health long term.
Exactly. And just small steps, you know, it doesn't need to be, as you said, a 45-minute session. Even if you do a minute or 5 minutes of something, it you know, it makes you feel better already. And that's what it's usually all about. Just, you know, creating that better well-being, better health.
Absolutely.
Step by step. Quickly back to the race in Busselton. Like as I said, I was pretty close there as well, and in the finishing there was this amazing interview, which, by the way, blew me away. How you could actually come through that finishing line, dance, sit on the floor, and just make an amazing speech as well. You know, like after 8 hours of trial, Ironman. That was impressive, especially because during that day, we also saw a lot of other athletes coming through the finishing line absolutely destroyed, not able to move any further, not able to talk, not But Matt Burton, you know, first of all, he danced. So that was, but different story. No, but what I wanted to ask you about that is you said one thing when in that interview, and it was like, if there are any kids listening, just persist. And if you want to do something, just hang in there. I think that were the words. Yeah. So does this relate to something particular, or is this just?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I watched that back after because you don't know what you said.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I'm running on adrenaline coming in. It's something I'd wanted to win for a long time. So, you know, until I sat down, then it was hard to get back up. But I wish when I watched that back, I was quite happy with what I'd said and how it was portrayed and the message that sport's been a big part of my life, but to be able to have others want to do something, whether it just be, you know, go out for a 10-minute run or, you know, inspire people to just be a bit better in what they're trying to achieve is a big part of why I do, you know, to motivate my family, and then, you know, it's a domino effect. But, you know, I said, if there's any kids out there, it probably should have been if there's just anyone out there. You know, I think kids is the reference we hear a lot, you know, dream big kids. But for me, in 2013, I took a pro license, and then I had some real back trouble for 4 years, which once you pull out of a few events because of it, then you just sound like you whinge a lot. So no one really wants a lot to do with that, which is fine. You know, and then I didn't want to whinge about it either. I just had to try and find a way to get myself and my body to a position where I knew it was reflective of the training I was able to do. So, you know, I was misdiagnosed, wrongly diagnosed for a long time, and then eventually 2017, you know, found the source of the problem, and then it's been a rebuild, I guess, since. So 2018 was the first, it was late 2018, from mid-year, So from the end of 2017, I came home from Europe, and I had some scans which showed the issue, and then it wasn't till I was 6 months off bike and run over that period, and so mid-2017 I started triathloning again, putting them all together, and, you know, I built to 2018, and I said to my wife, I was like, if I don't contest Busselton in 2018 and be up the front at some point, at the pointy end, I'll just stop. Right? Everyone had come through the journey at that point. It had been, you know, I started racing in 2009 as an age grouper, and, you know, we're in 2018, and you don't earn money when you're not racing well, you know, and you're not performing in any walk of life, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm a big one, and my dad's always been a big one for, you know, whatever you're doing, there's reward for effort, but I hadn't had the reward for effort. So sometimes the reality is move on.
Yep.
But yeah, this was the deal we'd struck, and I was third behind Terenzo and Cam Worth there. So it was a turning point for everyone involved. It was like, okay, well, I can go fast. You know, I'd gone low 8 hours there, and I'd missed Kona qualification just. So I was like, well, now let's go and try and qualify and get, you know, I always wanted to race there professionally. So just because it's where the pinnacle of the sport. And so then that next year I missed 3 times trying to qualify by 1 spot. You know, so yeah, I was racing really well, but, you know, then I overcooked it and had to pull out an event in Sweden. And then I come home from Europe again, and I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's too much. Yeah. And there was my mother-in-law this time who said, just focus on Busselton again. You're good at home. In 2019, I managed to qualify for Kona. You know, once I just trained and focused on Busselton, and, you know, I was second behind Brownlee, but I went sub-8, which was not something I was concerned about. This is where, I mean, we spoke of it earlier. I wasn't worried about the outcome and the result. It was about performing to the level that I knew I was capable of, and not trying to exceed any of those levels early in the race. I let the day take effect. Yeah. And then, you know, to go 7:55, qualify for Kona, you know, it was all going to be, you know, rosy the next year onto Kona with everyone, and then March was COVID. Yeah, sort of hit 20. Yeah, it sort of hit. So it's put a real halt on it all, and like everyone now, right? It's just been in a real extended time for me to actually get to Hawaii and get this race in, which has been people will think it's only been since, I've qualified in December to October. But I have the qualification from 2 years ago, which is now in May in Utah, in St. George. They're racing the first World Championships, and then there's Kona in October. But for me, it's been since, 2013 when I first took a pro license. I'd been to Hawaii 3 times as an age grouper, as an amateur.
Yeah.
I'd won my age group twice. So I thought, natural progression. I was 23 at the time, 24. It's just going to keep on rolling, and it rolled the wrong way really for an extended period of time. So that's all that was about, persisting. Consistency is a big thing in training, but persistence, because you have to persist through the majority of poor performances or poor efforts, or, as soon as they get too much for you, you won't persist. You won't persist at the same level you need to go and make a difference, and make yourself proud and let your family enjoy that process. But yeah, I think, I know, I guess after watching Busted and Back, I was really quite happy how it came across and what I'd said, and you don't get those. I haven't had that opportunity to win an Ironman and get there and speak and say thank you. And there's no awards ceremonies at the moment, so that was my awards ceremony, and I just hope there was a few people out there listening to take with them into this year, and then who knows where they take the sport or life or.
No, I think that it really came across well, and was pretty inspiring. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
It worked out well. So generally, what would you do if you wouldn't be a professional athlete or triathlete? Do you have any other? Is that actually something you think about?
I did before I started triathlon. I had a fitness business, so I ran group classes. I did a bit of general strength and conditioning. PT, I guess. I was only 19, so I was studying business at uni. When you start a sport then and it consumes you so much, now I coach a little bit. So to say I would be coaching would be wrong, because if there hadn't been triathlon, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you wouldn't have anything to coach.
I didn't grow up with the sport, so I'd still be playing cricket and footy from all I know. But I guess if I stopped now, I would definitely go down those avenues. The physiology of bike fits, and it's been a big part of my life because of the issues. So, I think the coaching and the conditioning behind multi-sport and endurance sport in general is something I'm super interested in. But also just to help day-to-day people, it's still a real motivator for me, just to run enjoyable classes, and get people together who motivate one another. So you don't have some PT yelling at you. It's not how people are motivated these days. So I would probably still be doing that. I think I had a really good thing going before triathlon took over, and who knows, it might have led to a studio or a gym, but I was enjoying the outdoors, and and people seem to be enjoying it as well. So.
So let's have a quick chat about, preparation, recovery, sleep. I mean, obviously that is a big part of, when you do your professional training. Give us a bit of an idea of, like what are you doing actually for these things? How do you prep your body? How do you recover it afterwards? And how many hours do you sleep a night before a race?
It's such a big part, right? It's spoken of, but it's never really explained to okay, sleep's important. Everyone knows it's important. It's when you grow, it's when you recover the most. Babies don't let you sleep, which is a strange concept, right? It's where we all started, and yet they just decide not to at times. Yet they're like sleeping machines. So there is method to sleeping, but 8 to 9 hours for me a night's plenty. I find like I can wake with the sun pretty easily. Some days if it's more, and I'm able to have more, I will. But napping becomes a big part of, I guess, almost part of training. Right? If you can sneak one in on the big days, especially when it's hot and you're rehydrating, if you can get a sleep in, your body will be better off for it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you
So
don't, you know, and you've got to pick the time of day. You don't want to obviously sleep too close to bedtime, but, you know, it comes back to, in the recovery state, what becomes more important is it, you know, going to, this, if you're really tired, going to do an easy 2K swim, or is a sleep more beneficial? You know, so it's, you start to sum up like, you know, okay, you're not being lazy if you don't go to the pool, but are you getting anything out of going to 2K swim if you're so tired that you're not swimming well?
Yeah.
You know, or are you better off to have a 30-minute nap? You know, and so there's little things like that you learn over time. I probably still do, but try and do both. But, you know, I think you need to be aware of when your body is saying it needs a certain style of exercise or certain style of recovery. For me, with and anybody that's gone through a lot of injury, you tend to favour some form of mobility or some form of application of a device or equipment to help you. I think every triathlete has a foam roller in their room at home, or their pain cave, or their bag, you know, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it's a super important tool. A lot of people use it for recovery, but can also be like a pre-tool, you know, prior to session to gain a bit of blood flow. So I guess for me, the BLACKROLL products and the size dependent on what you're doing has become a big part of, you know, my preparation for each session. Having a lot of back trouble, you're always, when you get injured and you have issues, you become very susceptible to when stuff doesn't feel right there in those regions, right? Your nerves are very heightened all the time. So I'm very aware of, you know, how my spine might feel, or if I've been sitting in a position too long. So, you know, the duo balls and spinal movements are a big one for me. So just as simple as being able to lay into some extension, you know, and open up the spine is a big part of the equipment that I might use. The difference for me in the last 12 months has been the use of the mini roller and activation of the feet. So I had a lot of trouble with my feet through the early part of COVID when I was overtraining, overrunning. And it's purely from, you know, I was locking my feet up too much, essentially. And you use the new footwear in the world, and new running tech is amazing, but it also takes the foot dynamics away from running. Yeah. So the mass amounts of cushion and the carbon plate, all of a sudden your feet become, you know, not so much an action, they become this vessel that's just trying to carry you because the shoe's doing the work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, an extension to your leg, right? So, you know, to be able to keep my feet active, which is for anybody, right? We all depend on our feet, but we never give them the time needed. And I never did. So it's been a big change for me to just, you know, it's simple. You know, it takes all of 30 seconds.
Simple. Yeah, exactly.
You know, roll your feet over, and your feet are so sensitive that it's amazing what the blood flow will create. And then, you know, I think in addition to the therapeutic gun world has gone crazy over the last few years, and there's a lot of rubbish devices out there. So, you know, I feel when we first got talking, and when a company goes and rushes a product and tries and compete with the market too soon, it's never good. You end up in third or fourth generation until they're any good.
Exactly.
But the BLACKROLL guns, I think the best on the market. You know, that's without being biased. I think the size of it's super important. You know, there's a lot of other companies whose guns are powerful, but it's too big and bulky. You know, you need gear you can travel with, whether it be on a plane or just, you know, on a holiday within your own state or area, that you can grab and use at any time. You know, and anything that has battery needs battery life. We're so dependent on our phones, and that tends to be the number one question.
Exactly.
You know, what's the battery life like? So, you know, it hasn't missed a beat. But yet I've been super impressed with the first generation. You know, I think that's when a company gets something right first generation, you're on a good thing, right? There's a lot of, for example, a lot of watch companies who've tried to compete with Garmin, and, you know, we're 3 or 4 generations in until they hit the mark. So I think I feel in the industry where therapeutic products are so heavily used, right? So many physios, so many OTs, chiros, you know, you need to, as triathletes, look at it, you know, and as multi-sport athletes, if you're going to spend $1,000 on a ceramic bearing or $500 on a helmet, you know, you probably should look at quality therapeutic equipment to make sure it lasts long and it actually serves a purpose.
Yeah.
You know, that the foam's firm enough is the biggest thing, because there's a lot of foam that if it's creasing underneath you, you're taking the soft option. Right? It's like doing an easy session.
Exactly. Yeah. Can't do that.
No, you can't be doing that. So.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, obviously, right here in Australia with BLACKROLL, we are far away from our head office, which is in Europe.
Yep.
And that's where the engineers are, and also the scientists we work with to, you know, get the gear right in the end of the day, so it works and it's simple and it just does its job properly. And I agree with you. The gun, they've taken their time. And they've done a good job. They we're waiting until the technology is a little bit further advanced, and obviously done a lot of testing, done a lot of research as well with, you know, university researchers and all of that, and waited, even though everyone was screaming, "Where's the BLACKROLL gun? Where's the BLACKROLL gun?" Waited long enough until the product was right, and I think that's what we're seeing now in this little guy here, and we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know, it's easy to get carried away and just try and match the market, but it is hard for any company to come into a, you know, I guess coming from Germany. As Australians, we don't tend to look too far out of our borders, right?
Yeah.
So
sometimes
when you get a new product come in, it's we probably need to be more inviting of, you know, what the product might be creating. But for me, initially when we met, you know, we were fortunate enough to meet through a mutual relationship, but the products are so simple that it almost looks too good to be true. I think, you know, even I'd never wanted to be someone or an athlete who was biased to a product because of the level of the sponsorship or the agreement. I wanted to believe in what morally the product was promoting and what was being produced. And, you know, BLACKROLL, as you can see, it's super simple, right? So it's, you know, one color, one piece of foam, and it looks like if you look at it, it looks like it's just going to break, but good luck trying to break it. So it's, you know, it's light to travel with, and I just think people should definitely try it before they, you know, go out and go to Clark Rubber and buy a piece of foam because that's what they think works, you know. It's like put an emphasis on the stuff that you need to use every day.
Agree with you, and good to hear that feedback, obviously, as well, from someone who really uses this equipment and needs it and feels a difference, obviously, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. So moving on a little bit, we talked a little bit about it, but what is, I mean, obviously, what are we now, 6 weeks down the track, you said, from Busselton, so you said you're back into training. So what's the next goal? I mean, we know Kona, obviously, but how do you get there?
Yeah, it's going to be a busy year, but it'll be one period at a time. You know, I guess we're breaking into four periods for the year, but I'll go east in a month's time and race Geelong 70.3. And then try and make these trips quite short, just to avoid what travelling attracts at the moment. And then come home and some good racing here in WA in March. But it'll probably set myself up in preparation for that first World Championships in May in Utah. So I'll spend March here, go to Melbourne and race again in early April, and then later April head across to Utah. So, you know, an Ironman will be upon me pretty quickly. Yeah. But I need to get back on that world stage just to see where I'm at prior to Kona. I think it's a perfect opportunity, regardless of how you think you're travelling. You know, I'll prepare through our summer, which is perfect, so I don't have to acclimatise going across there, and the altitude's not high enough to really cause any trouble from that point of view. But coming home from Utah, I will 7 weeks later is Ironman Cairns. Yep. So I'm going to head across to Cairns and race there, and then I guess shut it down for a little bit after Cairns before preparation begins to Kona. Yeah. Because I need to go across to Kona a little bit early just to acclimatise and prepare. And I got a friend to come across who qualified in Busselton as an age grouper, so we'll travel together and and he gets to hang out with me. And then 8 weeks or 7 weeks, after Kona is Busselton. So the two parts of the year and 4 periods is World Championship 1 and then Cairns. I'm in Cairns, and then World Championship 2 be at Kona.
Yeah.
And then I'm in WA. So for me, defending is super important. You know, but I get to come home after Kona and be at home and be the one being chased, I guess, even though I'm chasing out of the water. So, it's a busy year, but it's a lot of full distance racing. But I've been training for a couple of years, been stuck here, so
yeah,
why not? Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's a busy schedule.
Yeah.
You mentioned the altitude. That's something I wanted to ask as well. Like, obviously Utah is a little bit higher, and you've probably got a lot of athletes from the area who also can train in higher altitudes than Utah is itself. So does this make a difference? Like, do they have an advantage for these sort of things, or I mean, we're here just complete ocean level.
Yeah. So I think aerobically, if you get yourself to a certain capacity, I've spent time at altitude before and I didn't feel overly affected, and that was quite high. So personally, I think we're going to 700 meters, 800 meters. It's not very high. It's not a stimulus that's gonna, cause you to feel like you're breathing through a straw. I've spoken to a few sports scientists who have sort of suggested, you'll be fine. Don't get too absorbed by this altitude business. I think pro cycling has created this, right? Because all these people go and prepare at high altitudes now because cyclists are there, but they don't often race at high altitudes. They end up at high altitude. But a lot of them is about sleeping high and training low now. So the science is changing all the time.
Okay.
But I'm a big believer in the heat adaptation here will increase blood volume through our summer, which is extending every year now. So I'll be able to head across coming out of some really hot temps, and I'll be as fit as I can be this time of year. So there's plenty of racing. It's who knows, I might blow terribly, but I've researched the area, and it's not going above 1,000 meters. So
okay,
it's you're pretty safe.
It's cool. It's probably one of those things. Then, as we chatted before, then don't worry about it.
No, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just train.
Yeah, just train, and whatever is, but you can't do much about it. And and if the science is on your side anyway, and say it doesn't much of a difference, okay, so
I'll be there 2 weeks early, so that's enough time to breathe a bit of air in, and it'll be cool. It'll be I'm really an unknown. I think my ranking's still 180th or something globally. So before COVID it was 30th, and then I dropped to 300 and 80 or 90, however they want to work this out. And then Busselton's brought it back a few hundred spots. So, one race in 2 years, it's it'll just be nice to race again. Yeah,
definitely. But I mean, obviously you said it again before that, you don't focus too much on the goals, but I still ask, where do you want to be in Kona?
Definitely top 10. I think the metrics of the race, if you go swim this time, you ride that power and you run that speed, that pace, that's where it puts you. And a lot of people going with these huge ambitions, so I'm going to run that. But when you get off the bike after 180k and having swum for 50 minutes, a good part of 50 minutes, running's a very different feeling. So, there's often too much ambition with that first 10 to 20k. And so, for me, having a real consistent race in Hawaii will be important to set up for, I want to go long term now. I turn 34 next week, so I still feel I got plenty of time. I started the sport really late. I feel I can pose a difference in Kona, just the way it's a very isolated race that always breaks up from about 120. So, it's about holding, being sort of patiently aggressive until that period. And I'll need to learn the way the system works over there a little bit with the drafting. Only racer as an age grouper, and you're on your own. So, the big trains out of transition on the bike, where everybody's super fit, so everybody's going to ride at a good level for a while. So I just need to make sure I'm at a better level, come 150k.
It's awesome. No, exciting. We're definitely going to watch that.
Yeah.
Awesome. You mentioned before that you're coaching others as well. So how does that look like, and how do you pick people, or how do they get to you?
I haven't promoted it. I don't want it promoted. I coach 12 people now. I capped it at 10 and I'm at 12. So look, it's more of an enjoyment. I guess I can get people involved in some sessions that I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
And it distracts from me just obsessing over my own program and my own phase. And I don't know, I feel I've learnt enough now in the sport. I could probably assist people in just them not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Let me do the thinking and you just do the plan, do the program. And it's still quite a simple approach. You know, you've got to do X amount of this each week.
Yeah.
And as you hear a lot of athletes, they did a swim block, they did a ride block, they did a run block. But then they always lose it when they put it all back together, right? We're not doing the single sport. Like I've done periods, I'm not a strong swimmer, and I've done really big periods in the water when I had a back injury, I could only swim. And I got my swim to a level I never thought it would be, but then it's not reflective once you start biking and running again. Yeah. So if you're a non-swimmer, unfortunately, you're always going to not be at the front of a race in the water, but it's about being more efficient in that field or in that sport, to be able to carry yourself so you can still ride that's where your strength is, and then run well. So I don't know, I feel now that people should ignore this, like, okay, I'm going to do a swim block, I'm going to do a specific run block for a period of time. As soon as you take some other stuff out, you do that one thing better. You really do. Once you build specific for that and you're focusing on that, your recovery for that around life is about that sport. You know, if it's running, you tend to be looking after your hips a lot more and your calf a lot more and your lower leg, whereas if it's on the bike, you're treating your quads, you're rolling your quads out more and your glutes. And it's, you know, it's being a well-rounded athlete. It's about keeping everything transparent and everything equal. You know, to a degree, because I love cycling, so I favoured that for a long time, but now I'm at a point where I still love cycling, but the other two are as important in what I'm trying to achieve. So teaching people who just want to do triathlon for fun or want to, you know, qualify for Hawaii as an age grouper, I feel I can help both levels because I've been there. Yeah. You know, I sort of went through it and I made enough mistakes.
Exactly.
So don't do that. I made that mistake, don't do it. Exactly. They don't listen, no. Do it.
Yeah. And I guess what I myself realized a lot as well when I've, you know, done workshops for BLACKROLL or teaching, I don't know, exercises, that generally you learn for yourself as well once you try to put it in words and, you know, package it in a way that others can easily understand and use it as a toolbox. Yeah. So it just makes that toolbox pretty organized for yourself as well, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. They just challenge me in everything I ask them to do. So a few of them are very painful. But you get these people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite advice for people who start training with you? Like at the beginning, you know?
Like that I'm coaching, athletes that I'm coaching. Just show up.
Yep.
Without it being a joke, it's like the days when you don't feel great, the fatigue ones, you need to put a process in place each week that becomes consistent.
Yeah.
Right. So you need to persist at something for a period of time for it to then become consistent, right, and not be such a chore. So, you know, just show up, put your shoes on. It sounds so small and insignificant, but putting them on is the number one.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it be the cycle shoes or the running shoes, or, you know, or going to the pool. Yeah. Diving in, you've achieved that biggest part, right? You've started. Now just tick off what has been put down, but, you know, just showing up and then get it done.
Yeah,
that's how we keep it.
The outcome comes later on.
Later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's a good day or not, who cares? But at least you've done it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Yeah, and it's, again, so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
String it together.
Love it. Well, on the recovery side, what's your advice there? Like, you know, you're a very inspirational guy. People who look at this stuff often is that they are scared, you know, it hurts me, or like, you know, just don't know exactly how to use it.
Yeah.
But what's your inspirational advice on using, you know, BLACKROLL products, not only for recovery, but also the preparation side of things, and also, sleeping, whatever. So
Yeah, you're right. People have become frightened of foam rollers, or what foam, compressed in the right part of your body can actually make you feel. A lot of people roll the quads out, or the ITB, or your hammies.
Painful.
Yeah, and they put too much load through it straight up. So just ease into it all. It's a bit like going, the first time you're going to run or ride or swim, you don't go and run 40K, run number one. You tend to just go for 20 minutes. So when you're using some form of a roller, whether it be through your back, your legs, your arms, your shoulders, start with only a small amount of compression from your own self. You control, the same as sport, you control how much force you put into these. And then over time you develop it. It's like when you go to a massage therapist too. They don't just go ridiculous straight away, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So why would you go, okay, I've just got this gun, I'm going to go as hard as possible, number one. It seems like we're too competitive, and I'm going to push it in as hard as I can. Like, it's probably going to hurt you a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So just back it off and build into it. And then your body will be more appreciative of it, because you do get DOMs, or you can pull up sore from using these, any sort of recovery equipment.
Yeah.
So yeah, even for me now, like if I'm tender in training, I don't just load up on, I'm laying through sort of my hips and using a ball to release everything and really go super deep early. It's, slowly let the muscle absorb it, loosen it up, and let your body depict how much force it needs for recovery. Because you'd be amazed, and you learn it over time, you really don't need a lot to break up the fascia, right? And so if you're producing lactic acid when you're training and producing waste, your muscles stick together.
Yeah.
And this is what a lot of people don't know. So when you roll it, you're essentially breaking those surfaces up, right? And then that waste product will be removed when you go to the toilet. So you don't need a ton of weight, a ton of force to break this up. You can literally do it for a couple of minutes and you will have an impact. And then if you feel, I could probably go a bit firmer, you don't have to do it that day. It can be the next day. Yeah. And that's the beauty. You got it at home with you, right? So you can, it's more so, most people look at it as a rehab tool. I prefer now this just a prehab. You need to prevent injury. Yeah. Injury puts you out for too long. Yeah. Of anything, whatever you're doing. Yeah. Just fitness class or trying to go 7:30 and Ironman.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, perfect. Yeah. I think that's a great sum up, and that's something we, as BLACKROLL preach basically every day. And it's exciting in the end of the day, because you really can help people with just very simple steps, and it's all it needs is to give them a bit of a direction, one simple tool, and then ideally they discover the rest themselves. Yeah. If they have questions, of course they can ask, but it's about experience yourself and help yourself. Empower people to get healthier and take their health in their own hands, and have that responsibility for themselves. And usually people get it. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and then even if you've got a little 6-week-old and you wrap them in the recovery blanket, I feel they're growing better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the theory I'm going with. So we'll see.
We'll see
if he's going to lead our feet.
Exactly. No, so cool. Well, Matt, thank you so much for being with me today, having that chat. All the best for you, also with your family. I assume they will probably be with you sometimes, sometimes not. But hopefully you can make that happen, as make it work as well as possible. And again, all the best, and thank you so much.
Thanks very much, and look forward to being involved, with BLACKROLL for the year ahead, and sort of spreading the news through Australia a bit more, with helping the market understand what the better products are.